Good morning, day 3, last day of our tour. We are in Farley, Iowa. This would be kind of in the northeast corner of Iowa, but let's talk about the first stop this morning. We left Cedar Rapids early powered by some donuts and coffee, but we stopped in Mount Vernon, Iowa. That corn was in V10, 37,000 population. It was the tallest corn we've been in this week or the last 3 days. It had rained both last night and sometime prior because we had mud. We tracked mud out of the field. Now we're in Farley, Iowa, which is about 40 miles from Mount Vernon. This corn was V7, 35,000 population. Now, it was noted that this corn probably had some emergence issues, yet still had a 35,000 actual. So it's just telling you they're planting thick, and so that's going to what we're going to do. I'll talk about a little bit overview of Iowa. So a couple things. Population actual. What we observed was we were over 36,000 on our population. So they're planting it thick out here, whether by design or it's just been a trend, but we certainly noticed that. And probably the thing that we'll take away from this trip is the corn was all planted in a relatively tight window, which will mean that it'll be pretty critical from a marketing standpoint to keep an eye on heat and temperatures, probably from like July 10th to the 25th, when most of this corn is going to pollinate. If there's going to be a problem with this crop, I would say that would be the biggest potential for this crop to have an issue. The only really wet, dry area was west central Iowa, and I wouldn't call it devastatingly dry, but clearly this is the driest part. Northern part of the state, southern part of the state, and the eastern part of the state have all had rain this week, and they could get through pollination without another rain. I'm sure they don't want to go that long. And so, and I would call the crop ratings the USDA is using for Iowa to be accurate. I don't think you could say they've got any major issues. You could argue the beans are relatively small, but there's nothing wrong with those beans. They still have plenty of potential, and I really wouldn't worry about that. So, very interesting part. We're going to have one more stop in Iowa, but we won't do another video until we get into western Illinois.